I was 8 years old when I went to the island of Jamaica. My father had retired at 65. You see, he had me when he was 56, and he had no idea that he would have a child so late on in his years. He would subsequently tell me that if he had known that I would be born, I'd be a wealthy woman. But what he didn't realize, that he had made me wealthy. He had made me wealthy in having love, compassion, empathy, and a heart for people, because I saw him do that every day. His motto, what your right hand knows, don't let your left hand know. And so he would do things for people, and we'd never know. And that all came out, especially at his funeral, and it was beautiful to know that he had kept to everything he had told me. So I arrived in the island of Jamaica, stayed at my nan's for a few months, a few weeks really, and my father purchased a property. And there I was, my life from the age of 9. I remember looking in the house and thinking, where's the carpets? See, I'd never been living in a hot country, not realising that you may not necessarily have carpets. I just grew up in the UK. We have carpets. But I remember going into my room and opening those windows and saw what I thought was a shed. Because to me, that looked like a shed. A small wooden structure just right on the corner of the property. I remember running out and running down to see this structure. To me, it was a great adventure. Where was I going? What was this going to entail? I was excited. And I looked and I saw this structure couldn't have been more than 12 by 12 feet. Little stairs going up. And I looked and I saw this lady that would forever change my life. I will never forget her. Her name was Miss Hazel. And for me, I ended up calling her Aunt Hazel, because she was the best auntie that was not connected to me biologically, but through the spirit and through her heart, she had me. I was her family. And I remember looking at that structure and she said, "Oh, you're Miss Phyllis." And I've never been called Miss before. I'm just Phyllis. I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Your dad's bought the house." I said, "Yeah." And she invited me inside. And I remember the feeling of being inside that house and still feeling I was outside. There were holes all over the walls. And I didn't get it. But she was so proud to show me round. The room could barely hold her bed. The wood was rotting, but she was so happy and proud. I ran back to my house and I got some magazines that I had brought over from the UK, and I gave them to her to plug the holes. The innocence of a 9-year-old, I wanted to help, and I helped in the best way I thought I knew how. I gave her those magazines. And over the years, the affection grew, and I'd just run over there and wash my hair, and she'd comb me, and my mum would shout, "Come back over." And she'd maybe have a chicken leg to cook, and she would share that chicken leg with me. We had plenty food, but I just wanted to be around this lady. And she would get lots of second-hand clothes from abroad, but she was so proud, and she would iron them, go to church, and just be so proud. But what I admired about her was her tenacity to live. You could never see her on the street and thought that she was in object poverty. She was so proud. Later on in life, she managed to get the local government built her a room. And by this time, I'd started to go back to the UK, 17, 18 years old, and I used to bring back stuff for her. And one year she said, Miss Phyllis, this is my new house, and I don't want to see or hear from anyone. All these people around me, they never done anything. And I just love Miss Hazel for being happy with nothing. She had family members and children all around her, and some helped her and some didn't. But that didn't bother her. Just like us in life, there are some people who are around us who will help us and some that don't. But she taught me humility, and she taught me to love. And I'll never forget this lady. She is like a mother to me. I love sitting and talking to her. And I just love how she shared. Imagine having one piece of chicken in those small pots that she had. And she would share that with me. And I was cooking, at that time my parents were cooking him. They were feeding tens of people on any given day. We'd share even with her. But she was always willing to share with me. So no matter how life gets you down, if anything in life is going to rob you of that joy and that love, it's not worth it. And I had to make decisions throughout my life, and you'll hear them as we go along, not to let anyone rob me of my happiness. I didn't care what people said. I just had to go and do something for me. So I dare you today. I dare you to go get your happiness. Take your joy. Remember to be humble. Or remember that if you're fortunate to live in a house that hasn't got holes, there's hope for you. And if you do live in the house without the holes, remember someone does have holes in theirs. And what are you going to do to fill the gap? As always, peace out. It's always love. Have a good day.